Now at 7, an apartment fire leaves 1 dead and dozens displaced. Thomas Schultz is live from the scene with what we know. Plus,
do you have a warrant?
An ICE arrest in downtown Portland caught on camera right after a man seeking asylum appeared in immigration court.
And Portland City Council giving its final stamp of approval on next year's budget. We'll look at some of the things that made the final cut.
And we are also live this morning out in North Portland. Jinju Patisserie getting ready to open up here this morning for the first time since winning the James Beard Award for Outstanding Bakery. A huge honor for this small bakery on North Williams. We're going to have more live coverage from the bakery as Sunrise, streaming live at 7 o'clock, starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Rodney Hill, are you out there, my friend?
Yes.
Are you standing by?
Here I are.
Are you ready for the 7 o'clock hour?
I am. Good morning. What a nice morning. If you're just getting up and starting your day, we're all dry. Generally, it's partly cloudy to mostly sunny statewide right now with light northwest winds. Salem 53, you have sun, beautiful shot of early of our state capital. It's been like this all morning over Portland and the West Hills, looking from our Rose City camera across the Willamette, which is glassy this morning. 53 is the number. And here's that really nice Thursday, 67 degrees at noon. We'll get up to about 74, which will equal yesterday's high. Now, the first wave of rain that we've been talking about is on track to arrive first thing tomorrow morning. We'll have more on that coming up in your complete forecast.
Rod, thank you. Your time now is 7:01. Taking a look at your drive times this morning. We've been checking all morning. They're looking pretty good on a Thursday here. So 11 minutes from Main Street to I-405, Patton Parkway to I-84, going to take you 10 minutes.
All right, let's get back to the breaking news we've been covering this morning from Southwest Washington. 1 person is dead. At least 10 others are without a home after an apartment complex fire in Hazeldale.
Thomas Schultz joins us live from the scene. So Thomas, what else do we know here?
Well, Drew and China, just over the past hour or so, we're starting to see people, family members show up on scene, some seemingly related to the person who died and others just checking in on their home. But obviously a lot of grief, a lot of tears, a lot of emotions out here as well. Let's show you a little bit of a look at what we are seeing here. Crews still fighting this fire. They just put water back on the roof down there to extinguish it just a bit. That person that did die, Clark County fire officials say they were found under debris that burned after the second floor fell into the first floor of one of these apartment complexes. Another person was injured and taken to the hospital with second-degree burns. This fire displaced 10 people permanently. Officials tell us 12 units have been displaced. Witnesses also reported hearing a person scream, followed by a series of explosions around 12:30 last night. When crews arrived, they found the complex was fully engulfed and residents trying to evacuate, eventually realizing that 1 person had died.
Finally, we were able to cut a hole through the wall of the adjoining apartment, which gave the fire marshal enough access to go in and discover that there was indeed a body in there.
And back here live on scene, people are now going past the yellow tape here, seemingly either looking at their home or maybe related to one of the victims in this as well. But obviously, once again, a lot of tears, a lot of grief out here at this apartment complex. At this time, we still don't know who that person was who died. We also don't know how this fire started just yet. Drew, China.
Thomas, thank you. And in North Portland, a man is in the hospital after police say he tried to break into a home and was shot by the person living there. It happened just before 1:30 a.m. on North Baldwin Street and North Albina Avenue. The man went to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The resident is cooperating with the investigation. Right now, police haven't filed charges, but they tell us the investigation is ongoing.
Officers arrested 2 more protesters by the Portland ICE facility near the South Waterfront.
Portland police say around 8:30 last night, 22-year-old Eduardo Diaz was seen pointing a powerful laser at federal officers. Diaz was arrested for misdemeanor. Then around 12:30 this morning, 19-year-old Mariana Rivera Loza was arrested for trespassing. Police say she entered a closed area near the trolley tracks by the ICE facility. Throughout the protest, police have reiterated that because an arrest is made during the tense moments does not mean that people will be charged with crimes. In the meantime, ICE agents also detained an asylum seeker in downtown Portland yesterday, and a witness caught it on camera.
Court documents say it happened right after the man left immigration court. A woman who works downtown recorded the video and shared it with us. It shows ICE agents stopping the man a few blocks from the federal building. His attorney says agents threatened to break his car window, but she says her client got out of the car willingly. He's from Colombia, filed for asylum last year, and has no previous criminal record. ICE says he was arrested under, quote, enforcement priorities. His attorney says she's not sure if he's still in Portland at this point. She says she tried to visit him at the South Waterfront ICE facility, but was told it was closed yesterday because of protesters. She says she also filed a petition to keep him in Oregon and speed up his case. We reached out to ICE about the case and are waiting to hear back. A Vancouver family, meanwhile, told us one of their family members died this week during a Russian airstrike on Ukraine. They said he was volunteering to clean up the city of Kyiv.
That attack on Monday left at least 28 people dead and over 150 people injured, making the deadliest attack in the Ukrainian capital this year. Fred Grandy's family reached out to KGW after learning about his death. Alma McCarty shares us his story.
He just was always kind of took that extra step to help people.
This passion leading Fred Grandy out of Vancouver and to Ukraine.
Yeah, he was definitely not a soldier.
No.
You know, he was a very lovable guy and always happy
afraid
to see other people.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know,
I was afraid when he got in there that be support on the front line.
Instead, his sister, Sitska Reed, and his nephew, Kenneth Reed, say he was volunteering after Russian bombings and drone strikes.
These group of people would go out and they would clean up the streets and the debris. He felt he was right where he's supposed to be and doing what he felt he needed to do.
Sitska explains she'd just spoken with Fred 5 days before the latest attack on the Capitol, an attack the family would soon learn claimed his life.
I can't even think about what he went through when that bomb hit that building. I just ache.
We are aware of last night's attack on Kyiv, which resulted in numerous casualties, including the tragic death of a U.S. citizen.
The Reeds say the American consulate in Ukraine phoned the family, breaking the tragic news.
it looked like a drone strike and it just took out the building.
I mean, the whole middle of it's gone.
Following this strike, crews sort through rubble and ash. Fred Grandy no longer among their ranks.
He was really happy to go try something. He was really happy to do that.
His family tells me they'll remember him this way: kind and gentle, funny and lighthearted, someone who sincerely cared.
You can talk to him about serious stuff and he'd just make you feel better about it. He was just an incredible man.
You know, people on Facebook from all over the place said, I knew Fred over there.
Yeah, we're getting quite a bit of outpouring. I mean, it's only been 2 days or, you know, so, but, you know, we're seeing a lot of support.
When the dust settles, they hope to bring him home and to properly honor him.
He was fighting the only way he knew how,
Yeah.
you know, by love and helping people out.
Grandy's family started a fundraiser in order to bring his body home and lay him to rest. We'll have a link to that up on KGW.com. In the Gorge, the Wasco County Sheriff's Office has lifted most evacuation orders for the Rowena fire burning near the Dalles, but there is still a level 1 evacuation in place for 5 Mile Road and Benson Road east of Highway 197. The Sheriff's Office says the fire is in mop-up right now. Containment is now at 68% and resources are being shifted off the fire. If you're returning to your home in the fire zone, the Wasco County Sheriff's Office is reminding people that the area is still hazardous due to unstable structures, sharp metal, and the potential for toxic ash. And in Central Oregon, the Alder Springs fire is now 21% contained and has burned 3,500 acres. There are several level 3 go now evacuation orders in place. That includes the Deschutes campground at Cove Palisades. The Oregon State Fire Marshal has brought in over 100 firefighters to protect homes and infrastructures from the fire.
All right, Rod Hill, before we get to the Valley forecast, you want to talk a little bit about those weather conditions that firefighters are dealing with?
Yeah, and really during the stretch of the fire coverage, with the exception of the winds we had in the gorge when that Rowena fire broke out, the weather's been good. I mean, it's relatively high humidities for our region this afternoon. It's not much wind in Central Oregon. and temperatures will be in the 70s. Really can't ask for more than that. So they got some containment around that fire in Jefferson County yesterday, and let's hope we continue to get improving reports out of there today. Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. We have beautiful sunshine. It's going to be a classic, great Northwest day. 47 degrees right now in Lincoln City. Up on the mountain, there's Timberline Live for you. 41 is the temperature. Winds are calm up at elevation even this morning. And here's the Pioneer Park building looking down at the square, and not a lot of activity, but it is a gorgeous morning in downtown Portland. We're at 53. Here is the temperature report across our region. 48 out in Forest Grove. Good morning to you. Sherwood matching that. Happy Valley and Camas about the same at 49 each. It's 53 in Salem, and it's 51 degrees down in Albany. Good morning, Lynn County. Here's our coast forecast for you today. Temperatures will be in the low 60s, partly cloudy skies. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. If you're going out to the gorge today, westerlies will pick up again this afternoon, generally gusting to about 25, and temperatures will hold in the 70s. From the Dalles eastward, it's going to be not as warm today as it was yesterday. Yesterday, a lot of you folks in Madras and the Dalles and Pendleton were up into the 80s. Today, 70s. Burns 82, though. There is a scattered shower threat in far southeastern Oregon later today. Otherwise, all dry and partly to mostly sunny. Portland, 74. Beautiful day on this Juneteenth. Tomorrow, showers are here. The first wave, first thing in the morning. Could be some scattered downpours with thunder and hail mixed in. And then the Saturday forecast from early to mid-morning through about 3 p.m. is just steady rain coming down. Sunday, the odds of it just being a dry day are starting to look better and better, and that is your forecast.
All right, Ron, quick look at traffic here on this Thursday morning. We're going to start with a look at Highway 26 through the Vista Village Tunnel. This is traffic heading eastbound this morning into the city. The typical slowdown there as you come to the back end of the tunnel. We'll keep an eye on this as we move through the 7 o'clock hour. We can also show you some other drive times right now. All in green, so that's always a good sign. Nothing in red yet. That includes the drive from Wilsonville to downtown Portland. It's a 17-minute drive now from Wilsonville to downtown. Still to come here on the Sunrise Show, Portland's City Council passing a new budget. We're going to take a look at the changes that made the cut. Plus, nonprofits focused on education supporting programs that face millions of dollars in cuts. We're going to take a look at the proposed cuts when Sunrise continues in just a minute.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
Your time now is 7:14. A new survey shows a growing number of voters have doubts about renewing the Metro Housing Services tax.
It's a tax paid by higher income earners in Multnomah, Washington, and Clackamas counties. If you pay the tax, I'm sure you know all about it. So here's the deal. 39% of likely voters this November said they would either definitely or probably vote against a renewal. Still, 46% said they would either definitely or probably vote to keep it alive. based on those numbers you just saw on the screen, researchers say a potential ballot measure to extend the tax beyond the year 2030 would face a challenging path to passing this November. Metro President Lynn Peterson acknowledged that the tax program definitely needs both some reform and new accountability.
We all recognize that what we have is not working. And so how do we actually move to a better model and learn that we need to iterate this?
Our team at The Story broke down all the findings from this poll and how Metro leaders plan to create a new system. You can find their coverage on our TV streaming app, KGW+.
And Portland City Council has given its final stamp of approval to next year's budget. This follows weeks of debate that include more than 100 amendments from councilors and a $150 million funding gap. Now, the final budget includes some added fees that you may notice. There's an additional cost for taking rideshare services using city-owned golf courses and parking downtown. The budget also allocates money for 8 more shelter sites that the city says will serve more than 800 people. And it also expands Portland's street response by adding positions and more hours. Now, the budget, however, means some city workers will lose their jobs, though the exact number is still being worked out.
I'm sorry to those whose jobs we couldn't save. I do want to point out we achieved a lot of really important things. We invested in parks maintenance and safety, invested in emergency management, and reversed many of the years of cuts.
Funding for Portland Police was a major sticking point throughout the process. In the end, councilors agreed to take roughly $2 million from the PPB budget to pay for recruitment for all public safety agencies, including the Police Bureau.
All right, that's the latest on the city of Portland's budget. Now we move to a state budget issue. Up to $45 million worth of cuts could be on the way for early learning nonprofits in Oregon. The latest that is, budget plan from Salem includes cuts to pre-K and family support programs as lawmakers try to iron out state spending. There is a proposal on the table right now to boost spending for K through 12 education by 11%, but early learning advocates say helping children under the age of 5 is also critical.
Without that investment, we're not getting kids ready for K, and then we're seeing that drop off in educational attainment later. So it's really one of the best places we can invest right now.
One Senate bill under discussion calls for a 3% cut to all programs offered by the Early Learning Department and a 10% cut to programs that include daycare and ones that help kids out of foster care.
Time now is 7:17. Tomorrow is summer, is it not?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it starts in the evening.
Right.
So during our show, it's still spring, but tomorrow evening is when the summer solstice is local time. I think it's like 7:24. Don't quote me. It's something like that.
So we have 2 more days of spring, but only 1 more night of spring.
That's another way to put it. Yes.
Wow,
I think
this guy
covered this entire solstice issue.
I've been covering seasons since birth.
How many are there a year?
Seasons?
4? Yeah. Your answer?
I don't want to steal all the answers. Yeah. I agree with China. There's still 4.
All right. Well, I threw you a softball there. Here's a look at our satellite radar. We are, I want to say all dry. There's a speck of rain now down in the southwestern corner of our state. Chance of rain I'm really watching today is southeastern Oregon, where there could be some scattered showers. This has always been one of my prettiest cameras, one of my favorites. This is up in Welch's, getting up into the Cascade just off of Highway 26. 1,500 feet. That's a Manhunt, Oregon resort golf course camera. It's just an absolutely gorgeous morning. Some cirrus clouds kind of layering the cloudiness there, feathered. Here's a look at downtown Portland over the West Hills, 53, just gorgeous weather. 47 up in Kelso. We are all dry right now, except for that one little speck of rain down south of North Bend I showed you a moment ago. Seattle's 55. Generally, your travels will find partly to mostly sunny skies. Light winds will start to pick up in the gorge during the morning hours, but that's it. Just really nice weather. This shows kind of partly cloudy skies. I think it may be a little overdone. A lot of this is mid to high level thin cloudiness that's showing today. No worries. All right, let's get to the rain. The big event, if you will. First wave of shower activity. This is tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. starts to come in. Notice the bright colors. This is an upper level low moving in, so we will be unstable. That will fuel cumulus cloud development. Some downpours mixed in with the showers, maybe even some hail, maybe even a rumble of thunder. And while it's scattered precip tomorrow, I think the showers with the low coming directly overhead will be enough in number that we won't have a lot of prolonged dry areas, if you will. So here's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That was just numerous showers through the day. Here's Saturday, which is a completely different animal. The low is gone, will be a little bit more stable, but on the back side of the low, we get this big pull of moisture coming north to south. This, if correct, and multiple models show the exact same thing, will be hours of steady, widespread rain from the coast to the valley up into the Cascades. Anything from early to mid-morning. This is 9 a.m. It's already raining in Portland and Salem. Through about 3 in the afternoon. And did you see the dark green and the yellow colors with that? That's not light rain. That is, you look out your window and, hey, it's raining. Or you got to get to your car and you run because, hey, it's raining. That's your Saturday. Now, by the evening, if the timing holds, most of that is now dropping south of Salem. This is 5 p.m. And there's a scattered shower threat Saturday evening, but maybe wherever you are, it's fairly dry and fairly quiet. That would be Saturday after 5 o'clock. All right, how much rain are we talking about? Everybody gets some measurable rainfall on the map. That's terrific news. And again, don't get overly fixated on individual numbers. If you look at this, I want you to think, okay, we have a good chance to at least get a half of an inch of rain. And if we get one of those downpours or the rain rate Saturday is really good, maybe we get an inch of rain. That's still where we are for the 2-day period. Low 70s today, just a beautiful day, partly cloudy skies. I do have 74 in Vancouver, and I have 74 in Portland, which would equal yesterday's high. There's the rain, 63, 62. Sunday, a lingering shower chance. I almost pulled the plug on that. We'll see what the models show tomorrow, but Sunday's looking like there's a good chance it will just be dry, and that is your update.
All right, thank you, Rod.
All right, your time now is 7:21. Taking a look at traffic right now. Look at that. Isn't she pretty? Mostly green. There's some few trouble spots, but looking pretty good out there. We'll keep you posted if anything changes.
Coming up next on Sunrise, another SpaceX test run. It ends with an explosion. We're going to have more on that story and other national headlines coming your way when Sunrise, streaming live at 7 o'clock, continues in 2 minutes.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Time to take a look at world and national headlines with your morning rush. A missile strike from Iran hit an Israeli hospital earlier this morning. According to Israeli media, the strike blew out several windows and people could see heavy black smoke coming from the hospital for miles. This is the 7th day of the conflict between Israel and Iran. Yesterday, Iran's supreme leader rejected U.S. calls for surrender. Severe storms rolled through parts of Illinois yesterday. The severe weather included tornadoes and left thousands of people there without power. This is a look at a local baseball complex that suffered extensive damage to buildings around the park. No injuries, though, were reported. News from SpaceX. SpaceX Starship exploded. You see right there in Texas. This happened on Wednesday during preparations for its 10th test flight, sending a massive fireball into the sky. According to SpaceX, the Starship experienced a major anomaly before starting the test flight right around 11 o'clock. The last Starship mission back in May also ended with an explosion. The Federal Reserve kept interest rates unchanged on Wednesday. The decision comes as reports say inflation is expected to continue rising, coupled with lower economic growth. The central bank also reaffirmed it's looking at 2 rate reductions later this year. And that's a look at your morning rush.
The trial of Brian Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in 2022, looks like it will start as planned in August. His lawyers said that they needed more time to prepare, arguing that moving forward with the trial in August could violate Kohberger's constitutional rights. They say recent and upcoming media coverage will get in the way of seating impartial jury, but the prosecutors and prosecution disagree with that, saying that they believe that the court's jury selection process will ensure an impartial jury.
Every time there's a breaking story, every time there's a new book or a new documentary, are we going to continue the trial indefinitely? And that seems to be the danger in what the defense is asking for.
Your Honor, our request is for a continuance in this matter to allow us to be effective and perform our constitutional duty for Mr. Kohberger, to protect his constitutional rights, to make sure that we have fully investigated all mitigating circumstances.
The judge said that he would consider the defense team's request to delay the proceedings, but also said it's likely the trial will start on time.
This goes way beyond just our agency or even the family itself. I mean, this has rocked a community.
Coming up in our next half hour, the latest on the search for the Washington man accused of killing his 3 young daughters. What the Chelan County Sheriff had to say about the search for justice in his exclusive interview with our sister station in Seattle. Plus,
did you frame Karen Reed?
Absolutely not.
Karen Reed found not guilty of second-degree murder. What the lead investigator fired for his misconduct on the case had to say about the verdict. The Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues right after this.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning on a gorgeous Thursday morning. It's just going to be a fabulous day. Most of the state away from the beach is going to be in the 70s. The beach will be in the 60s. Dry weather, partly cloudy skies, really nice. Doesn't look overly impressive right now, but moisture will feed into this circulation. That's the low that will drop into us first thing tomorrow morning and bring the first wave of shower activity to the west side of our state. Again, that's tomorrow. That rainy Friday, Saturday, still to go. Right now, though, let's get you into a beautiful Thursday. As I mentioned, our live camera down in Salem, early morning number 53. Winds are light. It's just been a blue sky from this vantage point, looking from our Rose City camera at downtown Portland so far this morning. 53 is the number. I've got a 67 at noon. If we hit 74, that will equal yesterday's high. So again, really nice weather on this Juneteenth. We've got the showers scattered tomorrow, but a lot of them. Could be some downpours with hail and thunder, mixed in. Saturday's a different animal. This could be widespread. Boy, it's really raining outside from about early to mid-morning through around 3 o'clock. And Sunday is showing increasing potential just to be dry. That's your forecast.
All right, 7:30 half hour of the Sunrise Show, live here on KGW Plus. And we start with a live look inside Jinju Patisserie. Yep, this is the North Portland bakery that won that big award earlier this week, the James Beard Award for Outstanding Bakery. That was the medal, Rod.
Yeah, I like that.
Very cool. Jinju, if you're not familiar, has been open since 2019 over on North Williams. And yeah, that's the good stuff right there.
Look at that.
That's some of the good stuff. They do a great job every single day in North Portland, and we are happy to bring you some action from inside the bakery this morning. I'm sure a lot of people want to check them out. This is the first day they'll be open since winning that big James Beard Award. So a big congratulations again to Jinju Patisserie.
That looks so good, I would eat it raw.
Again, we are broadcasting live here on KGW Plus, and we will continue to broadcast live until 8 o'clock this morning. That's our new. It's our the new normal here for the Sunrise Show. But what were you saying there, China?
We're going till 9 o'clock.
What did I say?
8 o'clock.
Oh, that's wrong.
We have an extra hour.
Yeah, extra hour till 9 o'clock.
Maybe it's because we know now that bakery is a James Beard Award winner. But to me, that when we showed those croissants and other things, it just looked so absolutely perfect.
You can eat it raw.
For sure.
You can eat it raw.
No.
What is that again?
No.
Okay, here's a look at our Chinook Winds Casino Resort Camera in Lincoln City. Oh, we've got a dog walker right there. We found one. What a beautiful day, huh? I just think today's going to be fabulous. Chinook Winds Casino Resort Camera in Lincoln City. Sunny blue. It's been a cool start. Some areas in the mid-40s. Lincoln City right now at 49. We're now in the, 7:30 half hour, so temperatures are past the low point, and they're starting to come up. We're at 53 in downtown Portland. We'll be 67 degrees at noon today, and if we make it to 74, that will equal yesterday's high. Now, for your planning purposes, today's great. But first thing tomorrow morning, we'll see that first wave of showers come in. More on that coming up in my longer forecast in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Rod. Quick traffic report here to start the 7:30 half hour. Live look from the top deck of the Markham Bridge. This is traffic heading northbound. Up top, you see the southbound traffic down below. A little bit busier southbound at this hour of the day. We'll keep an eye on your drive times throughout the morning. Here's a quick look at some of them right now. That Wilsonville into downtown Portland Drive, still in the green. That's a good sign. It's 18 minutes at this hour. Top news headlines here at 7:30. We start with breaking news. Overnight in Southwest Washington, one person we know is dead. At least 10 others are without a home after an apartment complex in Hazeldale went on fire.
Our Thomas Schultz joins us live from the scene. So Thomas, earlier this morning you talked to Clark County Fire. What did they tell you out there?
Yeah, well, China, they said that one person who died, first of all, they didn't know that somebody had died initially, and then they saw that debris had fallen from a second-floor apartment onto a first. That's when they found that person under the debris. And over the past hour and a half, we've seen a lot of people just coming past this yellow tape line. Some who have been displaced, some who may be related to these victims. The one who died, another was injured in this, and it's just kind of a horrific scene out here and a lot of grief and emotion that we're seeing at these Ridgecrest apartments up in Hazeldale. Let's show you a video of what that looked like a little bit earlier this morning. This is when crews were first fighting that fire and continuing to try to extinguish those flames. This all started around 12:30. Along with the person who died, another was injured at the Ridgecrest apartment fire and taken to the hospital with second-degree burns. The fire has displaced 12 units, 10 permanently, officials tell us. And witnesses also say that they reported hearing somebody screaming, followed by a series of explosions. That was around 12:30 overnight. When crews arrived, they found that it was a fully engulfed apartment complex, and residents were evacuating at the time of crews' arrival. Eventually, they did realize that one person had died.
Yeah, I haven't been able to determine whether that person was on the second floor or the first floor. It's pretty much a mess in there right now, so it'll take a while.
And a couple hours later, it's still a mess. We're still seeing fire crews continue to try to work on this fire. Right now, they're monitoring it for hot spots. We did just see the medical examiner leave. Fortunately, Red Cross is out here as well, helping anybody who has been displaced or related to victims in this fire as well. Right now, we don't know the name of the person who died, We also don't know how this fire started just yet. Of course, as we learn more, we'll continue to bring it to you. Drew, China.
Thomas, thank you. 16 days, that's how long Travis Decker, the Washington father, is accused of killing his 3 young daughters, has been on the run. And now in an exclusive interview, Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison is opening up about the emotional weight of the case. Bridget Chavez with our sister station Seattle has the latest.
Sheriff Mike Morrison says this case is unlike any he's faced before. In our exclusive interview, he reveals new evidence, a possible escape route, and why this manhunt has become personal. A community shaken, a county on edge, and a sheriff carrying the weight of it all.
Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, I mean, their deaths, it's hit us. It's hit us hard.
It's been nearly 3 weeks since the Decker girls were found dead at a campsite near Leavenworth.
Having 3 kids myself, it certainly resonates with you. And I'm going on 20 years here in my profession, and I don't think I've ever had a case that has actually ever pulled on my emotional heartstrings. But you feel it.
The girls' father, Travis Decker, is accused of killing them, then disappearing into Washington's backcountry.
At this point, I couldn't see a lot of things that would motivate him to want to live. I mean, his daughters are gone. He no longer has the life that he wanted to have.
Investigators are chasing leads across steep, remote terrain, from the Enchantments to Ingalls Creek off Highway 97, and now the Teanaway Trail near Cleellum, tracking every tip, no matter how small.
One call we just got was that we saw that chicken coop had eggs taken out of it. So of course they're wondering hey, who would have come in and taken our eggs? So we want to follow up on that too, because we understand that could be a food source for somebody.
While the U.S. Marshals now lead the manhunt, the sheriff's office is handling the homicide investigation, piecing together evidence and working with FBI behavioral experts to understand what led to this.
Trying to get a better understanding of how he thinks, what stuff might be going on in his personal life that might have motivated some of this, and overall just what his thought process might look like, what his end game might look like.
Amid this relentless search, the sheriff isn't mincing words.
I don't think anyone likes him. I don't think anyone wants him to come back into society. I certainly feel like he's done a disservice to himself and has just done an evil act. And I would want him to step forward and take accountability for it.
Until then, Morrison says they will keep searching, and their commitment to justice for the Decker girls won't end.
Their deaths cannot just go unaccounted for and just to be ignored.
He says Decker can keep running, but believes his days are numbered.
We're not going to go away. We don't time out. His charges aren't going to time out. So if he wants to live the rest of his life looking over his shoulder, we'll be there.
Again, that was Bridget Chavez reporting for us this morning. Meanwhile, closer here to home, opening statements got underway yesterday in the rape trial of former Trailblazer basketball player Ben McLemore. McLemore is accused of raping a woman in 2021 at a house party in Lake Oswego. He's denied the allegation. In court, his attorneys argued both parties were intoxicated and that what happened was consensual. Here's the prosecutor, followed by one of the defense lawyers.
She eventually slips off the couch and onto the floor. She doesn't even catch herself. She's playing dead. But that doesn't deter the defendant.
There was no withdrawal of consent. There was consent, and there was no withdrawal of consent until after the fact.
McLemore is charged with rape, unlawful sexual penetration, and sexual abuse. His trial resumes tomorrow.
Officials are warning people to obey the laws of the road after a train in southeast Portland struck and killed a cyclist. This happened just before 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon at the intersection of Southeast Division and 8th Avenue. Investigators say the cyclist was headed north but rode into the southbound lanes to get around the railroad crossing arms.
Clark County Public Health, meanwhile, telling people to stay out of Vancouver Lake because of harmful algae. They're posting signs at the lake to make the message very clear. No swimming, no animals in the water, and avoid any areas with scum. There's been a similar warning in place for Lacamas Lake, also in Clark County, since earlier this month.
Your time now is 7:39. Headed over to Rod Hill for a look at weather.
Hey, time now to check out what we did this morning. It's late enough in the morning. These will probably go in the book as the official lows. So if you've already been out for an early morning walk, it was 44 up in Kelso and Hillsboro. It was 41 in Tillamook this morning. Actually, there was some fog reported there at one point this morning as well because of that low temperature. Looks like PDX and Pearson Airfield in Vancouver each stopped at 52. Just a gorgeous day. This is from the camera at Providence Park, looking back up into the West Hills, 55 degrees. Winds are light, Some of you are still in the 40s. Again, we've had some cool spots. Forest Grove and Hillsborough now up to 49. The rest of us are now at 50 or better. Sandy is now up to 50 degrees after being in the 40s. Salem, good morning, 53. Still 48 out in Silverton, but Estacade is now up into the 50s. Futurecast is just going to show you a dry, partly cloudy sky day. A lot of those clouds you're seeing there that look kind of like really cloudy are just mid to high level stuff. It'll be a partly cloudy to mostly sunny day at times today. But I do want to point out that here's 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we're starting to see the first wave of shower activity. And tomorrow will be an unstable day, so numerous showers coming and going, and the bright colors represent spotty downpours potentially, with maybe even some hail and a rumble of thunder. Remember that tomorrow night into Saturday morning, there could actually be some snow up at Timberline Lodge. Here's Rufus, our KGW Dog of the Day. Beautiful golden there, it looks like. Use that email, dogoftheday@kgw.com. Send us your photo and your dog's name. Your dog will become our Dog of the Day. There's Rufus this morning. What a great map, right? It was 80s yesterday in central and eastern areas, now predominantly in the 70s, although Burns could get up to 82. There's a spotty shower chance out east later today, but primarily it's a beautiful, partly cloudy, dry, 70-something degree Thursday, 74 in Portland. The numerous showers, storm threat tomorrow. Saturday's more like steady rain during a good chunk of the day out there, really wet. And then the shower chance on Sunday, I've almost pulled the plug on that. We'll monitor that one more day, but Sunday could just be dry and 71, and that is your update.
All right, Rod, of course, we do have a very good traffic reporter on the Sunrise Show. If you're just new to our KGW Plus streaming show, Chris McGinnis will be back here shortly after a vacation. In the meantime, we hold down the traffic for it, and it's been pretty easy this morning. No major problems to report. Quick look at the traffic map here. You do see some red down low on I-205. That's between Oregon City and West Lynn, and some other red up there to the left-hand side of your screen. I believe that's Highway 217 between Tualatin and Beaverton. So just a heads up about that as you head out the door. Coming up on Sunrise today is Juneteenth, and you can celebrate this weekend by attending the Juneteenth Oregon Parade and Festival. We have the details on the parade route, plus more weekend things to do when we come back.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
KGW's 6 o'clock news. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your evening news team. Watch weeknights at 6 on KGW.
Your time now is 7:43, and if you're looking for something to do this weekend, Tim Gordon got you covered. Check it out.
The week is nearly over, which means the weekend is fast approaching. So if you're looking for an excuse to get out and about, we've got a couple great events around the region that'll do just the trick. So let's get started. And we begin in Tigard, where the return of the Festival of Balloons is kicking off in Cook Park. It starts early Friday morning and runs all the way through Sunday. Each day there will be early morning balloon launches, as long as the weather cooperates, and a pancake breakfast as well. And then get in line for a tethered ride in a hot air balloon. A weekend pass for all 3 days will cost you just $17. For something fun on the coast, Cannon Beach is hosting its 61st annual Sandcastle competition. It splits participants into different divisions and gives them a plot of land to build whatever the heck they can think of. What a great thing. The festivities kick off Saturday morning at 10 and end after the 5K fun run on Sunday. Plus, it's free to attend. For all the details, you can head to cannonbeach.org. Well, this Saturday, the group Juneteenth Oregon is hosting a parade and festival. The parade starts at 11 a.m. at King Elementary, goes down MLK Boulevard, and ends at Lillis Albina Park. Then there will be a party at the park from noon to 7 with food vendors, music performances, giveaways, and more. For more information, can be found at juneteenthor.com. And the final event for this year's Rose Festival takes place this weekend, and that's the Royal Rosarian Milk Carton Boat Races. Always a lot of fun. The races take place Sunday at the Westmoreland Park Casting Pond in southeast Portland. Opening ceremony is at 11:45 and races, they start at noon. For more, head to royalrosarians.com. And finally, the 19th Annual Latino Cultural Festival happens this Sunday at the Hillsborough Hops Ballpark. From noon to 7, you can show up to celebrate the local Latino community with cultural performances, international cuisine, and a futsal tournament. The festival is free to attend, so get out there. For more details, head to WashingtonCountyChamberOR.com. And for more weekend inspiration, check out the 8 Things to Do article up each week on KGW.com.
It looked like all the events Tim just talked about there, Saturday and Sunday, are happening outside, which means weather is an important factor in those events. I know you're going to get into the weekend weather forecast here, Rod, in just a couple of seconds.
So I mentioned earlier in the show, if one of those events you saw you're going to, it's on Sunday. I almost pulled the plug on the Sunday rain chance. I'm going to watch that one more day and see what happens. But Sunday right now is looking like it could just be a nice, dry, partly cloudy, low 70s day. That'd be great. The problem is Saturday, and especially that event for Juneteenth that's on the parade on MLK. That's going to be all wet. I mean, just steady rain for a good chunk of that time, unfortunately. All right, now today, the actual holiday, we should have the parade today on Juneteenth because it's great outside, right? But I get it. Saturday's easier to do it. Here's the blue sky over the Tilcomb Crossing. This is down along the river, the Portland Spirit Landing, the south waterfront. Just a gorgeous morning. The Willamette water there is pretty quiet. All right, 53 in Salem and Portland. We are all dry on this particular map. Generally partly to mostly sunny skies. Light winds will start picking up out in the gorge as we go through the morning hours, but that's it. 55 up in Seattle. All of your travels are just fine. Really lovely weather. The only rain chance at all today I'm really watching is a chance of some scattered showers and maybe a spotty lightning strike down in the southeastern corner of our state. That's later today. And by the way, these clouds, this is mostly mid to high level stuff. It looks a little more ominous than I think it will be. We really expect a partly to mostly sunny day. But here is the rain coming in for Friday and Saturday. And it's really quite different between the 2 days. So Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning, we have the first wave of showers coming in early to mid-morning. Now notice this is not steady, it's just rotating scattered showers, but numerous showers. So maybe not much prolonged dry time. It's dry, then it's wet, dry, then it's wet. And the bright colors with a low coming in were unstable. So the modeling is saying, hey, could be some downpours mixed in, maybe even some hail and rumbles of thunder. And those waves of showers that start in the early to mid-morning hours continue well into the evening. Here we are at 8 o'clock. Now, later in the day, Friday, the low driving these showers actually moves off. And the next batch of rain is Saturday coming down from the north. And there it is. Now, this is completely different. We're more stable. We're not expecting a storm threat. But the dark green and the yellow, that's good, moderate. It's really raining outside. And notice how widespread this is. Early in the morning from Seattle down through Portland. Again, this is 10 o'clock in the morning. It could be widespread, steady rain early to mid-morning, all the way through about 3 in the afternoon. Later in the day, that fizzles. This is the evening hours. If you have evening plans tomorrow, or Saturday, there's a scattered shower threat, but maybe you get lucky it's not that wet. Again, that's mostly a morning and afternoon rain event on Saturday. Weather models, I like to tell you, I say it often, don't get overly fixated on the actual numbers with the actual cities matching up. You're looking at a range here of a half of an inch to about an inch of rain potentially here on the west side, and manageable rainfall across much of our state. All right, one valley map for you. Salem 73, partly cloudy, just really nice today. I'm excited to be off this afternoon. Of course, I love being here this morning. I'm more excited about being off this afternoon. 73 in Battleground, 74 in Vancouver, just gorgeous weather. And if you're going to be in Central Oregon, of course, we're watching the fire in Jefferson County. Northwest winds 5 to 15. Bend gets up to about 76 today. Sun River 73, really nice. Here's the 7-day. Sunny start to next week. And again, Sunday just might be dry. You may see me pull that rain chance when I see you again next time tomorrow. That's your update.
Thank you, Rod. And your time now is 7:49. Taking a look at your traffic right now. This is I-205 heading southbound on Powell Boulevard. Looks pretty clean. Looks like a Friday out there this morning. Let's take a look at your drive times. It will take you about 10 minutes. Main Street to I-405, Patton Parkway to I-84, 11 minutes.
What do you want to say to anyone who believes the narrative, the defense's narrative, that you are corrupt, that you framed Karen Reed?
I laugh because it's such a ridiculous accusation.
Coming up here in 2 minutes, we're going to hear from the fired lead investigator in the case of Karen Reed. He spoke out during an exclusive interview after a jury found Reed not guilty of killing her police officer boyfriend. The live 7 o'clock hour of Sunrise continues after this.
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Welcome back to Sunrise. A jury found Karen Reed not guilty of killing her boyfriend, John O'Keefe.
The jury also acquitted Reed on all charges except operating under the influence. The acquittal comes after Reed's first trial ended in a hung jury. NBC's Emily Ikeda has the latest.
Karen Reed walking out of court with hand over heart and a major win in her murder trial redo.
I just want to say two things. Number one is I could not be standing here without these amazing supporters who have supported me and my team financially and, more importantly, emotionally for almost 4 years. And the second thing I want to say is no one has fought harder for justice for John O'Keefe than I have.
She was accused of hitting her police officer boyfriend John O'Keefe with her car in a drunken argument and leaving him to die in the cold back in 2022. But her defense has insisted there was no collision and Reed was framed. And after 3.5 days of deliberating, the jury of 7 women and 5 men agreed to acquit her of the most serious charge.
Murder in the second degree. What say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty? Not guilty.
Also clearing her of manslaughter and fleeing the scene of a deadly accident, prompting hugs and tears inside the courtroom. Cheers even heard from crowds gathered outside.
So say you, Mr. Foreman. So say you all.
The jury did convict Reed of a lesser charge, operating a vehicle under the influence of alcohol, after considering nearly 8 weeks of testimony and mountains of material, including crash demos, vehicle and phone data, and Reed's own words.
I mean, I didn't think I hit him, but could I have clipped him?
Reed acknowledging she shouldn't have been driving the night O'Keefe died.
I felt like I was buzzed.
Her defense tried to point the finger at law enforcement, but in a new interview with Dateline, the lead investigator, fired for his misconduct on the case, now speaking out.
What do you want to say to anyone who believes the narrative, the defense's narrative, that you are corrupt, that you framed Karen Reed?
I laugh because it's such a ridiculous accusation. There's not one piece of evidence or fact to support that, because it did not happen. I would never do something like that.
Did you frame Karen Reed?
Absolutely not.
This is the second time a jury has deliberated Reed's fate since her first trial last year ended in a mistrial.
I'm declaring a mistrial in this case.
The case since garnering intense public interest both online and in person, with a sea of supporters in pink erupting in cheers at word of the jury's verdict today.
It feels wonderful because we got a non-guilty verdict. It feels great. It's worth everything.
Every minute of travel, every penny we paid to get here was worth it for the verdict.
But a much more somber tone from O'Keefe's loved ones. His mother had testified in the retrial.
I hear Karen Reed yell, "Peg, is he dead? Is he dead, Peg? Peg, is he dead?"
Tonight, some of those at the center of the case who testified against Reed, writing in a statement, "Today we mourn with John's family and lament the cruel reality that this prosecution was infected by lies and conspiracy theories," going on to say the result is a devastating miscarriage of justice.
And tonight you can watch a special edition of Dateline on the trial that's captivated the nation. The full 2-hour episode, Center of the Storm, airs tonight on KGW at 9 o'clock.
Wrapping up this hour of the Sunrise Show with another live look inside Jinju Patisserie. This is the bakery in North Portland that won the big James Beard Award for Outstanding Bakery earlier this week. We're going to have more coverage from Jinju coming up in our next hour of Sunrise. The 8 o'clock hour kicks off in just a few minutes.